Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to fit an FCU and battery into a Magpul UBR stock. Now, in order to modify your UBR stock to fit the FCU and battery, you do need a Dremel with both a cutting tool and a grinding tool. I will not be showing the exact steps as I've already made the cuts myself, so I'm just going to be pointing out what you need to do and where you need to do it. So the first thing we're going to look at is the top portion of the stock itself. Now, what we're going to be doing to this is a modification to the end cap that will allow us to not have to modify the buffer tube itself. Now, if you guys can see, my end cap is off of the top of the stock. Typically, if you can see the little piece right here, if I can line that up, it's usually locked in there with a pin. So if I put this on, you can see what I've actually removed as far as material. So what you're going to need to do is take the cutting bit of your Dremel and you're going to cut out this entire portion. Now the reason you do that is because if I take this off and turn it around, there is a cutout, a little divot in the stock itself that is perfectly sized to loop this cable through. So once you've removed the excess material of the end cap, what you can actually do is feed the cable through, and you can install the top portion of the stock with no issues at all. And what this does, now that you've actually taken off that excess material on the end cap, if I turn this around for you, you can put it back on and just tighten it down as normal, just like if you were putting on the stock for the first time. It still tightens down without issue. Once it's all tightened up, there is no wobble back and forth, but now you have the cable coming through with no issues to anything else in functionality. So now we're going to be focusing on the bottom portion of the stock. So what you're going to be needing to do now is replace the cutting bit on your Dremel with the grinding bit. So you're going to be using that bit to drill a hole right through this portion of the stock. Now you can change the actual position of the hole depending on what position of the stock you're most comfortable with. I typically have it right around here, which is why I put the hole right in front of there. So this hole is actually, if I turn it around, going to connect into this compartment. And this compartment is where you're going to be storing the FCU and the battery, which I will show you later. So once you have that hole drilled, you are going to be feeding the cable through the hole, right through the top. And I suggest when you're doing it, I'm just going to turn this over for the camera, is that you feed it through the hole and then out of the compartment itself, so when you're putting the stock on, it doesn't jam up in here. There we go. So now you have the cable going through and the whole stock itself is on. So now we're just going to move on to fitting the FCU and the battery in. So now we're on to the FCU and the battery. So of course what you're going to want to do is attach everything first, just to make sure that when it's all together that you don't have any fitment issues with a wire getting in the way or anything like that. So just to show you guys, I'm going to plug everything in and then test it to make sure that a wire isn't being pinched and that it actually functions. So we're going to plug the cable into the FCU, and we're just going to start with here. So the way I do it is, if I can show you, I put the FCU on the very bottom right here. So I line it up just like that, and I feed this cable right on top of it, so it sits nice and snug and just loops around. So from there, I'm going to plug in the battery, And I actually put the battery right on top of the FCU itself. And then from there, I just I fill in the rest of the space with the wires without trying to actually make them pinch or anything like that. So loop them over each other, fold it over, but don't actually, like, if it's tight, do not force it, because that's risking pinching a battery, and you're going to run into a whole lot of issues after that. But once this is all together, make sure that the compartment itself closes like mine just did, and let's see if it works. There we go. So that is how you install an FCU and battery into a UBR stock. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it informative. If you did, let me know. Share what build you're doing this in, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.